to Knicks Nation on this Friday afternoon. Another edition of KFTV Live presented by Underdog Fantasy. CP the franchise here. Today's guest, you guys know him, man. He covers the New York Football Giants for Giants.com. You can also hear him on WFAN covering these Giants. But he talks Knicks on many platforms, this one included. Our guy John Smelk is back in the building. Elimination Friday, at least we hope. So let's talk about it, man. Game 6 preview show, Game 6 Hangout show. Call us up, 657-383-1509, or you can hit us up on the KFTV Discord. Let us know how you guys are feeling, and let's get into it, man.
Let's do it, CP. Can't wait, man.
I'm ready, man.
I got all my playoff towels behind me, but I would like nothing more than to not add a Game 7 playoff towel to that collection this year. I've been to every home game. I do not want to go to a game on Sunday. I want to sit home. I want to relax. I want to watch Nuggets Timberwolves.
Right.
I just want to bide my time. I'll go massage OG Anunoby's hamstring if I have to to get ready for that game 1 Tuesday against Boston.
We've been on edge since the playoffs started April 20th, and it's like every game cliffhanger. The cardiac Nick treatment in full effect, man. And you said you've been to every game in the playoffs so far?
Yeah, home games, yeah.
What's that experience been like for you?
Dude, it's been wild. I mean, every game was memorable. The game 5 against Indiana was the only game that did not go into the final seconds. And then you go from the ridiculous game 2 against Philly to then the equally ridiculous game 5 against Philly, where you go from, I literally walked out of game 2. This was one of the best sporting events I've ever been to. Then you walk out of game 5 and you're like, that was one of the worst sporting events I've ever been to.
Just like that.
Just brutal.
Yeah.
And then you get the 2 tight ones against Indiana. And look, I would expect, I know the last 2 games weren't competitive. I would be shocked if Game 6 does not go down to the final couple minutes here. I think there's a better chance the Knicks pull away from Indiana than the other way around, given what Brunson looked like in Game 5.
Right.
But I would imagine this one's going to be tight.
Yeah, I can imagine as well. And, just looking back on the run so far, I just love the fact that it's stirring up that energy of old, especially for us older fans who went through it in the 90s. And, the younger ones, they don't really have memories of much success or memories of key moments. Yeah, Linsanity was great, and Knicks tape had that little short run, but they really haven't seen this, where you look at this team, they look like they have something sustainable, and then they're giving you, like, that old 90s grit where they're pulling these games out, man, and winning it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I go back. I have both those posters you have behind you. I had the Stark Stunk poster in my bedroom. I had the Spruill Houston Canby one. I mean, I'll go back. When I was a kid, I was probably like 15 at the time, and younger fans probably don't even know this team. But in order to get access to Knicks playoff tickets, this was the year that they fought the Heat in the playoffs, right? And you had the 8-man, 1 mission game in Game 6 against Miami at the Garden. I was at that game, and in order to get Knicks playoff tickets that year, my family, in order to get them, we bought season tickets to the Arena Football New York City Hawks.
The City Hawks.
And they played at the Garden that year.
Yeah,
so one year, I mean, and it was cool. Like, we were literally, and these weren't expensive tickets. Like, we weren't some, like, rich family. Well, we were, like, the second row in the end zone. I, caught 3 balls that year, but the only way you could get into the Knicks playoff games was to buy
support the
City Hawks season tickets. So it's been wild, man. Like, literally, you're getting up, you're standing up after every big make, every shot that gets made, every good defensive stop. The fans have been great. Both of us know when we go in the regular season, you get a lot of tourists in there. It's not, it's not quite as fired up.
Right.
These are the hardcores, man. Like, you're at these playoff games, dude. It is flying. It is loud.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a late arriving crowd in the last game, which I thought was a little weird because it was a later start too.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the Garden's been fantastic. The fans have done a great job.
It's been rocking, man. And you're seeing more license plates. You see more flags. I'm taking little man to school. You're seeing flags all over the place. So the pageantry has been great amongst the fan base for sure. And there's a lot to be made of the schedule. I haven't looked at anything or any write-ups like in schedule history, whether or not this has been like more of a tougher or just not consistent schedule by the NBA. Do you think it's that, or is it just because of how these games have been played out each time? It just seems like it's been a grueling schedule.
Yeah, I think it's just the way it's played out. Heck, I remember, I'm sure you remember this too, when Knicks Bulls was the rivalry in like 92, 93, 94, they used to play them back to back on NBC Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, yeah.
They used to play Saturday and Sunday, and it was always Knicks home games too, because
Yeah.
Knicks can never then beat the Bulls 2 straight games and back-to-back games with the Garden. I used to get mad. It's unfair. You're making the Knicks win back-to-back days at home. Why don't you make the Bulls do that in their building, which the NBA never did because, Michael Jordan and all that.
Of course.
So, no, I don't. I just think given the lack of bodies that the Knicks have, I think it just makes it more grueling for them. And, going into game 5, I'm not going to say I was starting to resolve myself to them losing the series. But CP, look, I sat there and I think I tweeted this out on one of my threads. And I said, look, you can survive not having OG. You can survive not having Bogdanovich and Mitch and even Randall. You can survive with those 4 guys missing. But the only way you survive those 4 guys missing is if Jalen Brunson is Jalen Brunson.
Got to.
So heading into that game, I said, look, 2 things have to happen for the Knicks to win this game. Either their role players have to go ballistic and shoot like 60% from 3, or Brunson needs to look like Brunson, and Brunson look like Brunson. And that's what happened. If that guy's 100%, dude, against Indiana team, the Knicks can win any game. And when he's played better than Halliburton, generally they've won.
Yeah.
When he hasn't, they've lost. And do you have any reason to doubt Jalen Brunson in game 6? I don't.
You can't. And I don't either, especially on 2 days rest. You know what I mean? But even still, even after game 4, I'm like, man, I still expect him to have a better showing in game 5, but another classy Brunson game where
dude,
he looks
even
like
missed
the
shots
same as game 1.
He makes in the second half, too.
Yeah. It's just been incredible, man. He won't let this team die. You just have to love his demeanor and the ability to just hold himself accountable. I've never seen back-to-back bad games from him. Rarely, very rarely do you see back-to-back clunkers from him. So just a great job there. And when he gets out the gates early, it's consistent. You know he's in for a great night, especially in the first quarter, man. He's in for a great night, man.
And look, it was starting to bother me. And, they put Nesmith on him. That's the answer.
Game 4. I mean, no disrespect
dude's
to
on
Darson.
1 foot.
Yeah.
All right? He can't move. The refs are letting him just beat the you-know-what out of him up and down the court. I've never seen a guy who's basically having the 3rd or 4th best all-time scoring playoff series not get the benefit of any contact 20 feet away from the basket. It's amazing. But, I mean, the people that look, Naismith is fine. He's not a bad defender, but he cannot cover Jalen Brunson if Jalen Brunson is right. And I don't know what the answer the Pacers have here from a matchup perspective. CP, at the Tom Thibodeau did a good job going to Deuce McBride. I understood starting Precious. I had no problem with it because I don't like Josh Hart on Siakam.
Right, me neither.
Not that I think Siakam's going to murder him in the post, but I think it takes Hart away from what he does really well in terms of rebounding.
Yeah.
Because he has to box Siakam out. He can't roam and do kind of Josh Hart things.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it worked. And they spread the ball on McBride. And I think McBride's defense on Halliburton is even bigger deal than what the offense was. Halliburton's a guy who I still think his mobility is a little bit hindered by his various injuries. I've never seen a guy fail to walk downstairs before, by the way, and then 2 days later look great. Which
insane,
is after that
insane, man.
It's crazy. But, I thought McBride's defense was great. And I think what we're learning about Deuce is that I prefer him to be able to get into maybe some bigger guys that he can use his physicality and quickness against. I think McConnell's a problem for him. McConnell actually might be more side-to-side quick than Deuce is. And Deuce can't get into him as much because McConnell's quicker than he is. So I think that defensive matchup it was fantastic. I expect Halliburton to be more aggressive in this game. But the way Deuce plays up on him, he's not going to allow those step-back open threes that got Halliburton going in games 3 and 4.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's going to get those shots. Might he, get to the hoop and make floaters and stuff like that? Sure. But I think at this point in the series, CP, if those are the shots Halliburton's making, I think Knicks fans are kind of okay with that.
Yeah.
And I think that the coaching staff would be okay with it too, to be honest with you.
The Deuce factor was crucial. And it was a great adjustment. Even though the Precious, you could argue, it would help them on the rebounds and have Precious guarding Siakam. But Deuce being able to limit Halliburton early, I think is going to be a big key in this game. And I could already see, Halliburton pushing the button a little bit early in this game. Deuce has to be very disciplined because the referees are going to be quick with the whistle, especially when it's in Indiana. They've got to make sure that Deuce can stay out there on the court. Because Halliburton's going to really try to get into him early to get going and get into a rhythm.
Yeah, and then defensively, they don't have anywhere to hide Halliburton at this point. They've tried everything. They tried Halliburton on Josh Hart the first couple games, and I think this got lost in Josh Hart's early games this series. He would just drive it right down his throat every time. Like if he finds Halliburton on him, he just takes it to the hoop. And Halliburton is, I don't want to use the S word, but he's not very physical defensively, CP. And I think when Nick players and Hart and DiVincenzo specifically see him on them, they're just going to take it to the basket. And DJ Zulo put up a great Twitter, little exchange about this earlier. I think they're going to leave Halliburton on McBride too, and I think they're going to trust McBride to make the right decision off of those traps, and they'll take their chances. But I'll say this, and I replied to his little thing on Twitter with this. They were doing when he would show on those guard screens with McBride Halliburton. I felt like he was showing really wide, right? And I think there's going to be opportunities for Brunson. He did it a couple times in Game 5, but he didn't go to it often. I think when he looks at the tape, we're going to find that he's going to split that soft double a lot more. And then you're going to create a 4 or 5 on 3 with Brunson as the ball handler, because he's going to try to use the screen and split that trap before Halliburton. Because again, I don't think his positioning on those traps have been great. So I think that's something we're going to see a little bit more is Brunson trying to split that double. I would think the Pacers are going to do a little bit of a harder double. I thought it was a pretty soft double for most of Game 5. But again, I just don't think there's an answer there. And frankly, the Knicks CP have been great. When teams have doubled Brunson, as long as he can make that first pass, and that's where Brunson's height, I think, comes into play more than even when he's shooting, is when he tries to pass out of these double teams and there's length.
Yeah.
But if he can get that first pass out quickly, we saw some of those quick pocket passes that work and things like that. I think the Knicks offense has been great in those situations, and I'll happily take my chances.
Yeah, on some of the off nights, when you do see those traps, a lot of times you see the passes get deflected or even stolen at times because of the wingspan, kind of like passing through the trees. But for the most part, I haven't seen the stat as in terms of how well they've executed out of those doubles. But whether it's Brunson splitting the double teams or getting it to Hartenstein on 4-on-3 situations, they've been great. Especially, it seems like carryover from the regular season, even like late in those regular season important games where teams were selling out to take Brunson out of it. The Knicks have just found a way to execute time and time and time again. That's been great to see.
And you mentioned Precious. It hurts in the rebounding, but you know what? Why do you need Precious to rebound when Hartenstein literally grabs every single rebound on his own? Dude, how good was he in Game 5? My God.
Sensational.
I think the Knicks will basically this offseason go to him now and say, all right, Isaiah, here's the deal. Tell us the contract you want, and if it's within NBA rules, we will give it to you. I really think that's what the conversation is going to be. And frankly, I'd be shocked if he doesn't come back.
They have to keep him. No question they have to keep him. He wants to be here. The chemistry with these guys is on point. He said if the money's equal on all sides, he would stay. So I think they have to, especially love Mitch, but and it's not necessarily an either or thing, but I don't necessarily see the Knicks keeping him long term, especially with the injury concerns. But the way they flow with Hartenstein, especially offensively, his ability to make those quick reads, make the passes, keep the offense flowing with him and Hart on both sides, it's been great. And then in Game 4, I got scared that he dislocated his shoulder when he fell down. He's talking about, well, it's just a pinched nerve. We'll see, yada, yada. And then the next game, he pulls down 17 boards. Unreal, man.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're just like, when it rains, it pours, right? And I think we were all worried about that when he hit the deck. And frankly, you talk about him getting banged up. Dante DiVincenzo has not been the same since he hurt the deck really hard at the end of game, that was 4, correct?
3 or
when
3.
He
I
was
think it was
hot
crunch
the first
time in 3.
Game 3. I'm sorry, he was hot the first 3 quarters of Game 3.
Yeah.
He gets knocked down. And he landed right on his tailbone, right? And he has not shot the ball well since then. So he was hot before then. Maybe it's just the math, evening itself out. I would love to see him get hot in Game 6 here, but he has not shot well since he hit the deck there too. I don't think he's 100%.
Yeah, well, likewise, man. CP the Franchise, John Smelk on the 1s and 2s. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Salute to our franchise channel members in the chat. I see Nick him up in there. He says, if you can only keep one, it's Hartenstein. Son from Brooklyn. Facts, CP. Shout out to Son from Brooklyn. Who else we got in here? King Lowski. Close out tonight, baby. Let's go. All right. Brew Crew Fishing, Rico World Peace. Salute to everybody in here, man. Call us up, 657-383-1509, or you can hit us up on the KFTV Discord. Let's start this thing off with area code 603. What's your name and where you calling in from?
Hey, this is Bob from Vermont.
Bob, how are you?
I think I talked to John with, what's his name, the tight end from the Giants.
Who? Howard Cross?
What's it? Yeah. Don't I talk to you, John, with Albert Cross sometimes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I remember you. So the Knicks, I love the Knicks. They're going to win it tonight. I was surprised about the game 5. I didn't think they were going to be. I got afraid because I thought they were going to get, especially Brunson was hurt.
Yeah.
So he was doing good, and I was surprised he was doing great. I don't like 3 Indiana Pacers. There's 3 of them I do not like. I don't like Trey Turner, the guy's name that starts with an H. What's his name?
Halliburton,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't like him, and I don't like that Connor kid. He's a little punk. I think he's a punk. So we're going to take care of them.
Yeah.
Then we're going to win, beat the Celtics in 7.
Let's go.
Whoa, there we go, Bob. There we go, Bob. I like it.
Then we're going to play Dallas Mavericks. That's who we're going to win. Because the last time the Knicks won the championship, guess how old I was?
How old?
I was 5 years old.
Wow.
I'm an old fart.
OG.
I'm 56 in August, yeah.
There you go.
Hey, you know King Lowski? CP, you know King Lowski?
King Lowski. I think I just mentioned that person in the chat. I think they're in the chat right now. King Lowski, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my God. If you have him on, you got to have him on. He is a great guy.
All right.
He is a funny guy. And you guys are awesome, I got to tell you.
Appreciate the call.
Thanks, Bob.
Go New York, go New York, go New York.
Let's go. Bob from Vermont on the check-in. Throw some 5s in the chat for Bob. He's giving us a finals prediction, Knicks and Mavs. He's ready to go tonight, man.
Oh, I love it, man. Yeah, Bob calls in the Big Blue Kickoff live a lot. He's an old-time Giant fan, and this is the demographic I'm bringing to your show, CP.
There you go. There you go, man. Hey, it's a family show. All are welcome. Call in anytime. Shout out to Bob. Checking in from Vermont, man.
Love it.
Well, we are worldwide with this thing, worldwide with Knicks hysteria. And yeah, he mentioned the 3 guys you just got to look out for tonight. You know Miles Turner's going to let it fly. You had a little scare in that third quarter, the game 5, back-to-back threes by Miles Turner. Luckily, the Knicks were able to counter with a run of their own. So he's not going to be afraid, especially at home. Pacers haven't lost. What's the date? Pacers haven't lost at home since March.
Yeah, they haven't lost in the playoffs. I'll tell you what, though, CP, would it shock you if the Pacers came out a little tight tonight?
Yeah.
I could see them being a little bit tight.
Yeah. I'm not just based on what we've seen from this Knicks team, I wouldn't be shocked, to win this game convincingly. Like I just feel like they still have it. Despite being undermanned and being tired and backs against the wall, looking at how they handle themselves in Philly on game 6, you go up by 22, a Buddy Hield storm, they get rocked. But they're back in it. They come right back in it. They're down by as much as 10, 11 in that second half and still have the resiliency to bounce back. But we just got to see how they weather that early storm. The Pacers are going to come with early energy. Carlisle's already challenging them to get after it on the board. So I expect their hustle spirit to intensify over the course of this game. And I think the Knicks just have to weather that storm. Brunson is going to be the key. Getting after it on the rebounds, those 2 things are my consistent keys for this series, and if the Knicks are able to do that, I like our chances.
Yeah, you hit it. Look, I think how they came out flying, it was, I think, their best first quarter probably the entire postseason, if not the last 2 months of the year, where the Knicks' first quarters were not great. That was always Julius Randle territory, right, till he got hurt. He was Mr. First Quarter.
Yeah.
And, I would expect a similar fervor for the Knicks coming out in the first quarter of this game. And the other thing, too, CP, that I think has been maybe underreported, not talked about enough, the Pacers have shot the hell out of the ball in the series.
Yeah.
They are over 40% from 3 for the series. They're about a 35% three-point shooting team in the regular season.
Yeah.
The Knicks were in a similar situation. They shot the hell out of the ball, too, until game 4, right? That's when they put up their clunker and they couldn't hit a damn thing.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get a game here where the Pacers go a little bit cold, right? Like Shepard, Nembhard,
right.
Obi, even Turner to an extent. These guys are not going to keep hitting 50%, high 40s of their threes. So in a game where you're probably a little bit tight, you're a little young, maybe this is the game where they tighten up a little bit and some of those threes don't fall that have been falling the first 5 games of the series.
Good point. 609. What's your name? Where you calling in from?
Been a long time. This is Val from Jersey.
Val from Jersey. How you doing, man?
What up?
Good. I'm so proud to see your growth and everything. I just have a quick I just have 3 quick concerns I have. So just assuming we win tonight, my biggest fear is that we make it to the finals or we make it to the next round and we're beat up and injured. I'm hoping for a way where we can get Brunson on ice as quick as possible. Yeah, because I'm watching him. It looked like a soldier just carrying a gun and limping to the other side. It scares me sometimes. So I'm just wondering, yes, let's say we beat Indiana. Do you, and I need your opinion and the guest's opinion, do you feel confident that we're even healthy enough to go 7 games with Boston? Not talent, because I'm confident this year. I feel like a healthy Knicks team wins it all this year. But I'm just not confident in our health. You got OG who might come back next round.
Yeah.
Randall's gone. Bogey's out. Mitchell Robbins. It's just, do you feel confident that we're even healthy enough to beat the Celtics? And let alone, let's say you say yes, are we healthy enough to win a finals? That's it. Thank you so much. And I'm a long-time listener, and I love everything. You guys like, and subscribe always.
Appreciate the call, man. Appreciate the call. Look, at this
point.
Look,
I'll say this, CP. Yeah. I mean, if OG doesn't get healthy, they're not beating Boston.
No,
I mean,
no,
I'm not trying to, damper Knicks fans' parades here. And look, we got to take care of Indiana first. But the whole reason you get a guy like OG is to match up with either Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown.
Yeah,
that's why you get that dude. And even if he doesn't get back to a game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals, I think you still got a shot at it, right? But if he doesn't get back, it's going to be a tough go. And even if he gets back, that is still a house money series,
tough.
Man.
Yeah,
You're missing Randall, you're missing Bogey, you're missing Mitch. That is a house money series. I would expect this team to play their butts off, but the Celtics are really good. We'll see if KP is back for them. If you push that to 6 games or 7, and you lose, I think you go home very proud as a Knicks fan. And I can't imagine this team's going to roll over and die and get swept.
No question. Look, at this stage of the playoffs, you could assume everybody's injured or everybody's dealing with something. We just talked about Hartenstein and his ability to grit it out after falling very awkwardly on his arm to brace himself and probably did some injuries to his shoulder. But you could assume everybody's injured. If the Knicks get past this and get to the Eastern Conference Finals, it's all house money for me, man. I mean, they achieved so much this year, so much to build on. The OG injury, obviously untimely. You wish that he would come back as soon as possible, but with hamstrings, you just never know. And it's hard to expect him to just jump back out there and be at full strength. So he's going to be hampered by it, even if he does come back. But look, the Celtics, give them credit. They've been playing outstanding. Drew Holiday stepping it up. You have Tatum Brown. I mean, they're a lot to deal with. Pritchard, Hauser.
Derek White, man. Derek White's been their second best player. He's been crazy.
Yeah. So, obviously with this series, you wish that the Knicks were coming into this thing at full strength, but if they make it, it's all house money. I'm not so concerned, man. Very proud of this team.
The minute Randall went out, my whole thing was if you figure out if you can ever get to the Eastern Conference Finals, it's a successful season.
Easy.
And I'm not going to change that perspective now.
Easily. Let's go to Harrison Dolan on the Discord. Harrison, go ahead and unmute your mic if you hear us.
Hey, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, yep.
All right. I'm outside on my lunch break. Apologies if the audio is bad, but what's up, CP? What's up, John?
Good, man.
Good to hear from you guys. I'm good, man. I wanted to call in after Game 5. I'm a little upset about some of the narratives that are going on around our team, to be honest. Like the Draymond said it's a fluke.
Yeah.
Paul Pierce said it's a Cinderella run. It's going to come to an end. Did these guys not know that we made Game 6 of round 2 last year? And calling us similar to that Hawks team. That Hawks team was starting Kevin Huerter and Danilo Gallinari. Of course it wasn't sustainable. But, I'm just thrilled. I'm so proud of the team, man. I saw people on BSBN talking are the Knicks overrated? Bro, what do you mean? We're missing 5 guys.
Yeah.
Are the Thunder overrated? No one wants to talk about whether the Thunder or the Nuggets are overrated, but it always comes back to us. People call Brunson a foul baiter, but people like me and many others this whole year were calling in Brunson's really getting hit, man, and they're not calling fouls for him. What are we going to do about it? So the fact that he's maybe embellishing some calls here and there, he has to. Otherwise, he's not going to get any calls. That's just my take, man. I'm really proud of this team. I think we can definitely make the ECF tonight. My girlfriend and I will be in late. I'm excited, man. You know, we got to hit that Papa Shot tournament.
Yep, you got to, man. Got to pull up to Slate tonight. The Papa Shot tournament. It's going to be incredible, man. So hope to see you there, man.
Yes, sir. Have a good day, guys.
Harrison Dolan on the lunch break. If you guys are on your lunch break right now or watching us during lunch, throw #grind in the chat. It is Friday. We're trying to get to game day, so hopefully we're able to get you through the day, man. John,
CP, I'll just look.
thoughts.
Don't listen to the national pundits. It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
I get this with Giant fans on our shows all the time. Marcus Spears said this, and whatever. Guys, they don't follow the team closely.
Right.
Draymond Green wants people to listen to his podcast. All right.
Correct.
Chandler Parsons wants people to listen to his podcast. That's what these guys want. Don't let what they say bother you, because quite frankly, even though they're former players, half of them don't pay attention to what they're watching anyway.
Right.
All right. So don't waste your energy. Don't waste your breath. I hope you get Draymond on and you tear him up, CP. I can't wait to see it.
He ran. He already ran from the smoke.
Oh, did he run already?
Oh, yeah, he ran. He totally bailed. Totally bailed. With like half hour left to go yesterday, they canceled. Meeting invite
did
canceled.
they really?
Oh, yeah.
That's weak sauce, man.
Weak.
That is weak
Totally
sauce.
weak, man.
But guys, don't worry about what they say. And as for Brunson being a foul baiter, does Brunson try to draw fouls? Yeah, absolutely. There's also a guy that makes 50% of his field goals. He's one of the most efficient players in the league at high volume. He's not a guy that needs free throws to score. Hate to tell you, he just scored 40 points, and what did he take, 6 free throws?
Yeah.
In that game, in game 5, 7? Like, give me a break. I mean, the guy is one of the best shot makers in the mid to short range in the whole league. He has every move and shot in his bucket to go to score. He doesn't need fouls to score, right? Give me a break. We just saw a foul baiter in Joel Embiid. All right? You want to see a foul baiter?
God.
At like 7 feet? That's a foul baiter.
I mean,
right?
the guy literally just crashes into people and throws the ball up and gets a call.
Brunson's always trying to make his shot, right? That's the one
right.
thing. I wish officials wouldn't give guys fouls when it's clear they're not actually trying to make their basket.
Yeah.
If the guy actually puts up a decent shot and is trying to make the shot and he gets hit, it's a foul. Sorry. Be more disciplined on defense. I don't know what to tell you.
CP the Franchise, Sean Smelk on the ones and twos. KFTV Closeout Friday live stream. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. Salute to our sponsors, man, at Underdog Fantasy. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Use our code KFTV for a first-time deposit match of up to $250. So our guy CK2K will be on the play-by-play tonight, presented by Underdog Fantasy. So make sure you guys get your picks in. Play the fantasy drafts before tip-off. Shout out to Brew Crew Fishing, $5 super chat. Says, we here, orange and blue, with one more to do. Knicks in 6 and Eastern Conference Finals, here we come. Eric L. Beats, $5 super chat. Says, KFTV watch party tonight at Slate, New York. Doors open at 6:30. Game time at 8:30. It's gonna be a zoo. Get there early. Get there early, man. And meet me at the Papa Shot table for sure. Nice little wrinkle that we added to the watch party to add some more fun to the atmosphere, man. Great job, as always, to our people.
Who's the Papa
Slate.
Shot champion? Is it UCP?
No, you know what? So me and my girl, the Knicks chick, we go head-to-head Papa Shot. Any place we go, Dave & Buster's, doesn't matter, bar, anything, a wedding. If there's a Papa Shot table going on, we're into it, right? Everything stops for the Papa Shot. So I think I had like 64. She beat me with like 72. Then our camera guy, our video guy, shout out to Heru. He, at the end of the night, I'm looking over, going to say bye to him. He's at a 110. And the record when we got there was like 101. So he had like 5 arms going on this thing, gets 110. And so, yeah, that's basically the bar. He is a standing record right now at the Papa Shot at Slate, man. So we'll have to see who breaks that. Okay, let's take some more calls. We'll take a couple more. Chicklet on the Discord. Chicklet, go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
All right. I'm calling in from Virginia. I just want to ask you, John. The Knicks are good. The Rangers are good. The Yankees are good. Do you think the Giants can join the party in New York and make a run? Do you have any thoughts on that? if they
I
can.
hope so. Obviously, 2 years ago they made that playoff run no one expected, including me. I mean, I thought they'd be 5 or 6 win team that year. They ended up winning a playoff game. It actually reminds me a little bit of where the Giants are now. If you remember, CP, when the Knicks made lost to the Hawks in the playoffs, and then kind of the down year the year after. But then the Knicks managed to put it back together, get some good pieces together, and make that run last year against Miami, right? So I feel like that's kind of where the Giants are now. You bring in some pieces. You hope you play a little bit better. More importantly, you hope you stay healthy, which is a huge problem for the team last year. I mean, I was just listening to this morning. I was cleaning up the house a little bit, and the Athletic Football Show with Robert Mays. They do a great job talking NFL football. And he's look. I went back and I watched the Giants tape last year, and I don't even know what to think of the offense because. I mean, they couldn't run plays, because the offensive line was so bad, and a lot of that was injuries, right, with Andrew Thomas. So I think you stay healthy. I think this team has a legitimate shot to win, in that 8 to 10 game area and get one of the last 2 wild card spots if they stay healthy and if they play well. I think they can be right in that mix.
There you go. There you go. And we're going to close the show with some more Giants talk. Giants celebrating their 100th season anniversary this year. So a lot going on where Big Blue is concerned. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that when we close the show. Redman on the Discord. Redman, go ahead and unmute your mic. Got you? Redman going once. I hear audio coming from him. Go ahead, unmute your mic.
You should have went to Method Man instead.
I should have. All right, Redman, we'll drop you off. Just figure out what's going on with your Discord. In the meantime, 917, what's your name? Where you calling in from? 917.
I heard him.
Yeah, I just heard him.
Yo.
Yeah.
There we go.
AP?
Yes.
Yeah, we got you. Go ahead.
Yo, what's up? This is Jordan from Staten Island.
Mm-hmm. How you doing, man?
I'm just really excited about this game. Knicks have been doing very well. Josh Hart's been playing like LeBron James lately. I mean, the defense has just been insane. It feels like everything's finally clicking after just years of just not clicking. But yeah, that's it. I'm just excited.
Okay.
Big game tonight. Knicks. I mean, they got a finals run. I can feel it. Like the way that this team has been playing, it's just chemistry and just insane. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just basketball. It's nothing you've seen before in years from the Knicks,
Yeah, no, you're right, man, and appreciate the call. Look, I think you're seeing competence from all 3 levels, and even though they're down a lot of players, like there's just a competence there. The fit has improved each year under this regime. The fit of the roster, their chemistry has improved, and you've seen it roll over year after year. I think it makes a difference.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned Leon Rose's name nearly enough in this playoff run, CP. I know you've given him his flowers. I've done it too, but I think it gets lost. His ability to put together the perfect team for this coach, I think, goes completely underappreciated by people. It's one thing to put talented guys together, to put the right fit of guys together to fit with your coach, who, by the way, Knicks fans are buckling up. That 5-year contract extension is coming this offseason.
Yeah.
And
another 5.
He deserves it too. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll bring back OG. People think that OG is going to leave. I'm like, guys, Leon Rose's son's agent. Like he's
that deal was already in the drafts when they made the trade.
Yes, correct. That is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And again, I think the Knicks will give Hartenstein as much money as they can, and my guess is that he'll stay. We'll see. But I think this is, and again, I want to do a lot of offseason talk here to CP, but this, I think, is going to be Leon Rose's most difficult offseason to navigate, because they're getting to the point now before you pay Brunson where you kind of, if you're going to make that big trade with all your picks, it kind of has to be this offseason, or at least before the trade deadline in February.
Yeah.
And finding not only the right fit for this roster to fit personality-wise, but not trading away the guys already on your roster that are so important to that foundation and character of the team.
Right.
I think it's a pretty thin needle that Leon Rose is going to have to thread this offseason. I think it'll be fun to watch him try and do it.
Could not agree more. Could not agree more, man. Redman on the Discord. Go ahead and unmute your mic. Redman, going once.
All right.
We got you. We got you. Let's go.
Finally. All right, sorry about that.
No
I don't know
problem.
what's going on with this board, but we're good. Yeah, I just want to say, man, I'm just so happy for this team as well, man. I know Nick Nation is ecstatic for tonight. I'm nervous for tonight, man. I just want them to really, make it to this next round I just really want them to make it to this next round so freaking bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and I have this like feeling that they will, man. I just feel like Brunson, man, being there and with this extra rest, we're gonna make this happen this weekend, man. Whether it's today or Sunday, I just feel like we're just going to make it. Everything's aligned for us. Like we're getting Boston, now on Tuesday instead of Sunday. You know what I mean? We got this extra rest, so I just feel like it's just meant to be, man. And I just really, 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 really want to will this to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's it, man. I just really want this to make it happen. But at the end of the day, man, I don't care about Draymond anymore, bro.
Yeah.
He just nicks for clicks. That's all he wants, man. He's got nothing else going on.
Yeah.
There's nothing out there
done.
popping like the Knicks popping right now. So he's trying to go for that. But forget it. Knicks
Let's go.
in 6, man.
Let's go, man.
In 6. Let's go. Nick Nation,
CP, are you
let's
more
go.
excited or nervous tonight?
Me?
Yes.
Excited.
Me too, and I'm always nervous. I'm
Yeah.
a guy that gets tight, and I get like really intense. I'm excited for tonight. I'm not tight I don't know why, but I'm not tight. I don't know why.
No, I wasn't even tight for Game 5. Because
I was tight for Game 5.
You were tight. You're tight. I wasn't, man. I just feel like between Brunson, Hart, like these guys, win or lose, they're gonna leave it all out on the line. They're gonna die on the shield, man. And so I wasn't guaranteeing that they'd win Game 5. I'm not even guaranteed they win Game 6, but I just feel like you're gonna get their best. And they've shown it time and time again that they can do it. They are well balanced between the rebounding, the physicality, the defense, and the clutch factor in Brunson. They get the timely 3-point shots. McBride is stepping it up last 2 games offensively. Burks, 3 games. We didn't even talk about my guy, Big Money Burks. Of all the guys to come out of the trunk, step back into it, no practice, rusty, and just he's knocking down shots. That's been big for them off the bench.
And again, credit to Thibodeau. They're not asking Alec Burks to run the offense, right? No, they're letting him play off ball, catch and shoot, maybe pump fake and drive. They're not asking him to run pick and roll and be the backup point guard.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it, right? And I think and even when Burks' first run came here, right? When, I forget, the end of the 22 season, when he was, playing point guard in front of Quickly and people were losing their minds.
Yeah.
He didn't play well when he had to be the facilitator. And I think they've put him in a role that fits him a lot better. And look, I hope they can figure out a way to bring him back on like the veteran minimum next year or something like that, because I think he's a really good guy to have in the locker room and on the roster. But look, he's been great. And the fact, they needed to find another playable player, and they found another playable player to get that rotation back to a point where, all right, you don't have to play everybody 46 minutes. You just have to play them 40 minutes, which is something that's a lot more manageable.
The last one left, the freshest legs you have, man. Unreal.
Dude, it's funny. Like, they're selling at the Garden those T-shirts with they got Thibodeau in the middle. They got the faces of all the players on the T-shirt.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I got to be honest. Like, I was joking with my friend. There's like 4 guys in that T-shirt. I couldn't pick them out of the lineup.
Well,
I could not. I just can't do it.
He didn't even make the cut on our T-shirt.
I had no shot.
Yeah, him and Bogdanovich, they didn't even make the cut on the KFTV playoff T-shirt. So, and that's my guy. But I was like, I went to the artist. I was like, we could leave them off. We can leave them off. Let's stick to the core. Precious makes the cut. He had a great, fantastic second half, holding it down for these guys. That's it, man.
Yeah, so, I mean, dude, they're at the bare end. Like, there's no. I mean, I guess I guess the next guy is Shake Milton, right? Like, if you had to play one more guy, it would be Milton, just because he's a veteran. He's done it before. You could trust his defense. But beyond that, like, the rest of the team's unplayable in a close game. So
absolutely,
like, they cannot afford. And again, it's not a knock on those guys. They're young. They're inexperienced. They're there to develop whatever. But like, they're at the end. Like, they have been stretched to the max. And I think the reason you're not tight, dude, is I think all of us have such confidence in the character of this team.
That's right.
To come out
confidence
and just play their brand of basketball nearly every game. And they don't need to shoot really well to win. They didn't even shoot that well when they beat the Pacers in Game 5. They just had 28 more field goal attempts because they rebounded the hell out of the basketball.
Yeah.
So I think, and you feel so good about Brunson, right? Like, you just know he's going to show up and he's going to be really, really good. Yep. And I think it rightfully so, it gives you such a confidence that this team is going to put a good foot forward. Might it not be enough to win? Sure, you don't win every game, but you know they're going to be themselves, and they're going to try, and they're going to play really hard. And usually when that happens, you got a chance to win.
Well said, man. CP and John Smelk on the ones and twos. Call us up, 657-383-1509. We'll take a couple more as we get ready for tip-off at 8:30 tonight. Knicks versus Pacers. We talked about the importance of Deuce McBride and his defense tonight on Tyrese Halliburton. SNY had a bit of a soundbite here from McBride. Let's hear what he had to say in regards to his approach to Tyrese Halliburton tonight.
You guys kind of know you get a different Tyrese at home, and after what he's kind of listened to the last couple of days. Do you do things the same way you did it, or expect you have to do something different?
I think I got to go up a level, as we do as a whole team. I think we do things the same way. We might not get the same results, so we don't go up a level.
You guys. All right, so Deuce is saying, John, he's got to go up a level.
And that's what everyone says. And that's the other thing. How these guys talk after these games. Oh, one more. We got to forget Game 5 doesn't mean anything. We got to move on.
Yep.
No one complains about the officials. I know Knicks fans were a little frustrated that Thibodeau didn't try to pull the Carlisle after one of these games and do it. But you know what? I get that. But I have pride in that. Like, don't go out and blame somebody else. Don't go out there and make excuses. I think the way Tom Thibodeau coaches is that it's on us, right? Like, we have to overcome things that we can't control. And I just think that's how all these guys are built from top to bottom. And I think it adds to the character of the team, which is why we all have so much faith that they'll come out and they'll play well.
Easily. Here was Josh Hart on potentially closing out here at Game 6. Josh Hart with the media. This courtesy of SNY.
You talked last series, I think, about liking to play in hostile arenas. Mm-hmm. You guys obviously had it here, Game 3 and 4. You kind of look forward to this to try and do that. I know Jalen talked yesterday about silencing a crowd can be as good as.
Yeah, obviously we would love to have some closeout games at the Garden and give fans that kind of excitement. But getting a win on ending a series on the road is always fun. Obviously, their crowd is going to be crazy today, and if you're able to silence a crowd like that, obviously that's a great feeling. On the road, sometimes it's easier to focus because just more so not as many distractions. It's more about the guys in the locker room. So it's fun to do that on the road, but at some point, hopefully not this series, but at some point, we would like to end a playoff series at the Garden.
All right, that was Josh Hart. And I just think they've got to come out and avoid what happened in Game 4, that early first round knockout in boxing terms. Controlling the glass, watch out for the leak outs, those cheap points that the Pacers like to get. Take good shots. Because once you trip, Pacers are moving. And you could expect the Pacers to up their pace, whatever they have left in the tank. You lose a guy falls down and slips up, Pacers are out 5-on-4 and trying to get a transition 3 or transition bucket. So Knicks have to avoid that.
And there are two things, CP, right? The offensive rebounding more than anything else is what slowed the Pacers down in their pace, right? If you can't rebound, you can't run.
Yeah.
Like that's the rule. Like, it's hard to look. Can you get a couple of cheap transition points off of makes and stuff like that and inbounds? Sure, but that's hard. If you can't rebound, you can't run. So if the Knicks dominate the offensive glass again, they're going to win this game. And again, you don't expect them to win it by 24, 25, whatever it was in the last game. It was, record-breaking how much they out-rebounded the Pacers by in that game. But you rebound, the other team can't run. Number 2, don't turn it over. And the Knicks limited their turnovers in that game. Just control the ball. Just get shots on the rim. If you get shots on the rim, good things are going to happen. You're either going to go in or you're going to maybe grab an offensive rebound. Just do not turn it over, especially live ball turnovers.
Yeah.
That's going to kill you. And to Josh Hart's point, I love a Game 7 as much as the next guy. I don't like Game 7s when my team's playing in them. I'll pass on that. I'd much rather just finish things off tonight and not have to sweat out Sunday, please.
804. What's your name and where you calling in from? 804.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, if you're on speakerphone, you gotta come off the speakerphone though.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear, but much better.
Much better.
What's good, fellas? It's your boy Bobby Earl from Virginia, man. I'm a New York Knicks fan, and I've been loving this team for God knows how long, man.
Nice.
Look, we're beating these Pacers in 6 tonight, and we're going to take the Celtics on in 7. I don't want to hear nothing else. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap, fellas.
Let's go. Let's go, man. Where in Virginia are you?
All right, New York forever, baby. I'm out.
All right. All right.
I love the confidence,
Yeah,
man.
you love
I
it,
love
man.
the confidence.
Love it. Shout out to VA. Salute to everybody in the chat. Wherever you guys are tuning in from, type in your city, type your country in the chat. Let us know where you guys are checking in from. We'll shout you out as we close the show. 727, what's your name? Where you calling in from?
Yo, what's up, CP? This is Mike from St. Pete, Florida.
St. Pete,
I want
okay.
to say St. Petersburg, right across the bay from Tampa.
Yep.
Salute to Nick Nation. Shout out to UCP. Shout out to John. I was 12 years old when the Knicks won their last championship, so that makes me an experienced Knicks fan.
Yeah.
And this has been a special season, but I've been rocking with you this season for the first time, CP, and it's making it even more special.
Appreciate it.
So respect to you, Alex, JD. Salute to Nick Nation. Salute to KnicksFanTV. I'm excited about tonight. First thing I want to say, though, I don't want to talk anything about that green team from New England right now.
Yeah.
Our focus has got to be the Indiana Pacers.
Right.
That being said, I think there's 3 keys to this game. First thing is we gotta rebound the basketball. So the games we won, we out rebounded Indiana. Secondly, I like starting McBride, and I really like him bringing up the ball sometimes, and Jay Hart bringing up the ball because it frees up Brunson coming off screens to get open. And 3, we gotta make our free throws. We do those things.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be in great shape for tonight. And, even if tonight don't work out, we still have the game plan to wrap it up in 7. But I think I have a guarded elation for tonight. But I really feel good about the way we played based upon our last game. And, again, salute to Knicks Nation. Let's go, baby.
Salute, man. St.
You know what the
Pete.
best part of this playoff run is, CP?
Mm-hmm.
Rivalries.
Yeah.
You know, in the 90s, we hated the Heat. We hated the Pacers. We hated the Bulls because you lost them in playoff series, right? And you played them in these highly contested series. I mean, did I like the Sixers before this year? No. But did I hate Joel Embiid with every or dislike him with every fire up being? No, I didn't. You know what? I do now. I do now. Pacers, no. Rick Carlisle, don't like you. Annoying. No, I don't. It's good though.
Right.
Create these rivalries, and the Heat from last year is still a rivalry. They're always going to be a rivalry. But you don't. For young Knicks fans, like you guys haven't experienced this to have these teams that you play in these highly contested playoff series. It really does make it more fun.
Yeah, no question about it. You said it, man. Getting that back and getting that energy back and seeing guys like really get into it, and DiVincenzo and Hart and Brunson, it's a breath of fresh air. McBride approaching this. I always look at McBride as a football player rather than a basketball player. Yep. Just how he carries himself out there. So I love it, man. These
Has
guys
one
have
player
that
from
identity.
either team helped up a player from the other team in either
No.
the first series against Philly or in this series against the Pacers?
Haven't seen it.
Not once.
Haven't seen it.
I love it.
Haven't seen it, man. Gotta love it, man. John, before we wrap, as you said, man, the 100th anniversary of the New York Football Giants season. What do they have in store this year?
Oh, we got a lot going on, man. All the announcements have been coming this week. It's the Giants' 100th season. First year was in 1925. We got a bunch of gear up on the Giants shop, shop.giants.com, for people to go check that out. You have our normal 100th anniversary stuff. Then Carl Banks released this real premium 1925 brand.
Oh, yeah.
So go check that out. It's awesome. It's starter. The stuff's cool. Different price points for everybody, too, so you should go check that out. Right now, we're doing the greatest plays in Giants history. We're doing a bracket on Giants.com so people can vote. Bob Papa and I did podcasts on each one of the brackets, so go check it out. You guys can literally vote for your favorite Giants play in history. Later on in July, we actually just recorded the podcast a couple weeks ago. We're going to announce the 100 greatest players in Giants history, as voted on by an independent panel. So, and Bob Papa is going to have interviews with a lot of those guys in podcast form. So that's going to, come your way in July. And then, we just announced a new uniform too, right? We have the uniform honoring the uniforms back in the 20s and 30s. I know some fans are like, well, why are you wearing this? Why does it look like that? I go, guys, this is not just creating a new uniform from scratch. They literally
history there.
took the uniform pieces from the 3 championships from 25 and then the 2 championships in the 30s, and they put them together to kind of create this cool uniform. So check that out. It's awesome. I don't think any of that stuff's available for people to buy yet, but if at some point it will be. It's really cool. You can check all those details out on Giants.com. And then we have the event coming up on June 20th at
I'll be
the
there.
Madison Square Garden. Go to Ticketmaster.com. Giant Legends will be there, roundtable, season preview, all that great stuff. So a lot of stuff going on with the 100th. The offseason is a time where we try to relax, CP, with all the stuff with the 100th. We have not had much time to relax. There's just been a whole lot going on. But fans should check all that out. And by the way, we announced this week, too, that we're going to do the Giants version of Hard Knocks.
Yes,
which is not going to
right.
be the training camp version. Basically, it's going to be, and we've known about this because we've seen all the cameras in the office for the past 4 months. We just haven't been able to say anything about it. But yeah, they've been following the Giants front office and coaches since January, documenting the offseason. So, the decisions or the inability to bring back Saquon and Xavier McKinney, trading for Brian Burns, drafting Malik Neighbors. Like these NFL Films guys, they have cameras and mics everywhere. And they're keeping the footage under lock and key. I'm sure they have good stuff. I haven't seen it, but that's going to premiere in July as well, and it'll air throughout July. So
there you go.
That's going to be on HBO Max. NFL Films is involved. So just a lot of big stuff going on with the Giants 100th season, and now you just got to win some more football games to go along with the celebration, which would be nice.
There you go, man. Should we expect Schmelk soundbite or something in the B-roll for Hard Knocks? What do you think? P. What Lance Meadow, what do you think?
Good question. They have not gone in and shot us doing our shows, but obviously they can get the video of it. I mean, it's everywhere. Yeah. So I would not be surprised if I make an appearance, but I have not seen a camera in my face. So I'm hoping that I don't, because I like to stay behind the scenes in that way. But who knows? Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to find out.
There you go, man. Well, as usual, keep up the good work. I will be heavily involved in this anniversary season, man. I'm going to the meetup on June 20th at the
Nice.
Garden, at the theater. Definitely tapping into the podcast, the greatest 100 players. Shout out to my guy Eli for bringing us 2 of those things in my lifetime. Unbelievable, man. So I'm going to have a great time just going back in history with this historic franchise and looking forward to it, man. You'll probably see me at the home opener against the Vikings on the 8th.
Yeah, and if you want to come out to training camp, let me know, man.
Yes. We definitely did that a couple years ago, and I certainly look forward to it, man. John, thanks again for the time. Always appreciate it. For you guys at home, thanks for tapping in with us, man. Let's go, Knicks. Close out Friday. Let's get it done, man. Game 6, Brunson and the boys will be on point. And you guys know where to find us, man. Myself, JD, the rest of the KFTV family will be at Slate, New York, man. 54 West 21st Street. Go to KFTVWatch.com to get your tickets. We'll be there. Doors are opening at 6:30. Meet us at the Papa Shot table, and we will see you there. Live game audio, music during the commercials by DJ Eric L. Beats. We'll be giving away KFTV merch and swag, some Manscaped stuff as well, Mando as well, during our quarterly giveaways. So always a fun time to be had by all, okay?
Get that dub.
Also remember that this show is available in audio podcast format. So we will see you tonight, play-by-play live for CK2K for those of you that can't meet us at Slate. Let's go Knicks, man. Let's get this victory. Peace.